kick-ass switch, putting the K in magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you are watching the first video of many videos in July that are going to be working with this theme, witches who run with the wolves. And because it is 200 degrees and super duper duper humid, I would like to point out to you now what I am wearing. This is fake fur for you animal lovers out there. I love animals too, and I tend not to wear them, so fake fur, fake leather. But I'm just pointing that out to show you my commitment to these themes that I've been doing every month, and I'm so excited to move into the Witches Who Run with the Wolves theme, which you may have guessed is based on this book, Women Who Run with the Wolves. But something that has always struck me about this book is I've always thought that it would be a powerful read for anyone, man or woman. And I know some really great men that I personally admire have gotten a lot out of this book. Daniel Vitalis, who started the rewilding movement, and then Thomas More, the author of Care of the Soul. I just did a book nerd post on this last Monday. Check it out if you haven't already, because these two books, they go together like peas and carrots. It's all about care of the soul, using mythology and archetypes and caring for your wild nature to be at peace with yourself and live a deeply fulfilling life. So I highly recommend these to anyone, but Thomas More, he actually has a little blurb here on the back of this book. It says, "This volume reminds us that we are nature, for all our sophistication, that we are still wild, and the recovery of that vitality will itself set us right in the world." And that is what I have been working with for years, really. But in the last couple of months, I have felt this understanding, going deep, 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 deep about how we care for our physical bodies, the food we eat, the way we take care of our homes, the way that we manage our material lives is in fact how we care for our soul. And here's something that's interesting. You hear people say all the time that time is moving so fast. And I definitely say that sometimes too, but I will say that in really grounding into my rituals, creating a lot of rituals and structure in my life, I've noticed that structure actually creates freedom because it takes you out of your mind, and the important parts of your life, they just become automatic. Maybe not even the important parts of your life. The parts of your life that need to get done become automatic, and some of those will be important. Some of those will be rituals that are in place in order to care for your soul. But I am such a fan of rituals, and I've noticed that in the last couple of months, focusing on feeding the soul through the body, through the material plane, time has slowed down. This concept of the power of now and living in the now, I'm doing it. I am living in the now. I feel like June was a year long. It was extremely challenging, but I was so present to every single obstacle and every single challenge. And I packed so much life into June. There were some huge milestones that happened in June. My son graduating was pretty exciting. There were so many really sweet moments, and I was present for it all. And I really attribute this to working with the body and working with the material plane. You've probably heard me say, I did a 3-part video series once about how the New Age movement, we spent a lot of time trying to bypass the physical, trying to bypass our bodies to transcend this earthly plane, which I personally believe is a hangover from the Abrahamic religions that we grew up in. Deny yourself these earthly pleasures and you will be rewarded in the afterlife with heaven. I'm saying heaven is here right now. and it's all around you. And that is why I want to do a Witches Who Run with the Wolves theme, and I'm calling it Witches Who Run with the Wolves theme because this is for men too. This is for all of us. And I think this book is so witchy because it's getting in touch with your wild nature, your animalistic nature. And I feel that so many of us today, we feel a kind of longing. There's just this weird disconnect that's been happening, I think because technology is moving so quickly, and we live in these we live and work in these super insulated environments, often under like fluorescent lighting or artificial lighting, and we have this like weird synthetic carpet, and we're separated from the ground by rubber shoes, and we've just basically disconnected ourselves from our physical environment. And I think we are gravitating toward Daniel Vitalis with his rewilding movement, the whole paleo movement that's been so popular in recent years, homesteading, growing your own food, paganism. I think that people are turning toward these things because they sense a disconnection. And it's a disconnection from nature, and because we are nature. We are nature. We are a part of nature. Nature is in us, and we are in nature. So the real disconnection that we're feeling is with ourselves. We're feeling disconnected from our own souls. So that is what I want to explore all month. I have a really fun Facebook challenge coming up for later on in the month where I am going to ask you to create and share your own personal mythology. And before I go to, I also just want to challenge you right now to tag me on Facebook or write in the comments section down below. You can email me if you're shy. But what is one way that you can right now reconnect to your soul? And I'm going to give you a clue about how to do that. Imagine a time in your life where you felt truly wild, happy, and free. I'm gonna guess that it was in your childhood at some point, or maybe if you didn't have the greatest childhood, maybe it was once you left home and broke free as a teenager, or you were in your early 20s. But imagine yourself at that time, and then think about what it was you were doing. What were you doing at that time? For me personally, it was dancing. I constantly was dancing and doing gymnastics on my lawn and in my living room, and for anyone who would pay attention, and swimming. I'm almost a mermaid. I'm like part fish because my sister and I and my cousins and the neighbors and whoever else, like we lived in our swimming pool growing up, and my mom often says it was the best money they ever spent because it was our babysitter. We were in that thing all summer long. And because I grew up in Bakersfield, California, summer was like 6 months long. We had a lot of summer, and it was very, very hot. And we were always in that swimming pool and always in our bathing suits. And so for me, swimming is something that connects me to my soul. And I did not understand this until very, very recently. Because part of, this is just so sad, I almost hesitate to share it with you, but part of my journey through depression and anxiety, agoraphobia, separating myself from the world, self-isolation, denying myself things, I lost who I was in doing that. And it's really interesting, even though I've been free of depression and anxiety for so many years and I'm so far into my recovery, it's amazing how little gems still show up, like what I experienced the other day. I bought my son a kiddie pool, like one of those little, it's from Walmart, it's like 2 feet deep, it's 8 feet across, it's very small, but I felt bad because he was sitting on our patio, just kind of like looking bummed out, listening to our neighbors laugh and splash in their swimming pool. And this happens every summer. And I really felt bad for him. And I'm like, dude, we are gonna go get our own swimming pool. So I bought the swimming pool for him, but I think I was feeling overly triggered and like overly empathetic and feeling more sorry for him than maybe the situation called for. Because when we got the swimming pool, I was way more excited than he was about it. So the first day we got in the water just to our knees and we played around and took pictures and stuff. But the next day I actually put a bikini on, and I have not had a bikini. I've not worn a bikini in so many years, I can't even tell you how long it's been, and I have not been swimming in just as many years, and that is so sad to think about, especially because I live in hot Los Angeles. But I like got in the water and I felt myself coming back to me. I felt more myself than I have felt in a very long time. I almost started crying right there in the swimming pool because it was just like, oh, like this is who I am. I felt my soul come back to me, and it was just something so simple and so small and really excited. I'm excited about it. I'm sweating right now because I had to turn the air conditioning off and I'm wearing this, but I think I'm also just sweating out of excitement. I'm excited to share this with you. Please try this out. Please think about what it is for you. Is it working on cars? Is it painting? Is it vacuuming? Is it something as weird as that? I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever makes you feel like yourself, or some memory you have, try to recreate that for yourself right now and let me know how it goes. I really want to hear all about it. And we have, I think, 8 opportunities to explore this theme. And this book, I've wanted to do a book nerd post on this for a very long time, but even though it looks tiny, I bought actually the weirdest little copy. The font is so tiny, tiny, tiny. It's packed. It's packed. It's impossible to do one book nerd post on this. So I'm gonna do 4 book nerd posts on this if I have 4 Mondays. I think I do. And then I'll do, if I have 4 Thursdays, I'll do 4 videos here. So that gives us 8 opportunities to really get into the myths that are presented in this book and to explore the implications of those myths in our own lives today as modern people. So July is going to be epic. I know it. June was epic, so I'm feeling like I'm on a roll right now, and I hope you're feeling like that too. So let's have fun. Let's be wild, witchy, and free in July and have a summer to remember, like the best summer of our lives so far. And until we meet again, much love. Peace.